In my last series of videos looking at the Garmin EPIX, the newest smartwatch from Garmin, is the notification feature. And so this is kind of important to a lot of users of how notifications both show up and can be interacted with or not, and really basically controlled with the Garmin EPIX. So bonus for you, I've delayed long enough that we're going to compare the notification feature on the Garmin EPIX, the Coros VERTIX 2, and the Apple Watch Series 7, all three side by side. Let's look at the notification features on these great, fantastic smartwatches. Some not so smart. Let's take a look. Today we dive into notifications. Why? Because in my recent test of the Garmin EPIX 2, we started to look at all the features, screens, etc. And really the number one question that keeps coming up is, what do notifications look like on this watch? How bright are they? How do you manage them? Etc., etc. Especially for someone deeply immersed in the Apple ecosystem. How do you manage the notifications, and what do you get? Can you interact with them? All that stuff. And so it's not much different than the Phoenix 6, but we're going to show you today what they look like, what you can do, and how to manage them. Bonus, we're going to show you next to the Apple Watch Series 7 because it's awesome and it does notifications by far the best. I also recently just started testing out this Coros VERTIX 2, so we're going to just throw it in the mix, show you what all the notifications are, rip off the Band-Aid at one time, show you what notifications look like across all these fantastic smartwatches. Let's look at it. Let's look at notifications. All right, so I think the best way to go about this, to show you how notifications work across all these platforms, is to first show you what you can customize from your device. Now, this is obviously very specific to Apple. If you've got an Android device and you use these devices, it's going to be a whole completely different interface. In fact, you're going to be able to interact with notifications way better than you can with Apple. Apple prevents this feature through its software, so that's kind of a negative thing about using Apple with any of these devices, except obviously the Apple Watch. But the other two, it's just a little less user-friendly. But let's go first and show you what you can and cannot customize from your iPhone for using these devices. Let's start with the Apple, then we'll go to Garmin, and then Coros in that order. So, all right, so in my wearable folder on my device, I have all these different devices, including the Apple Watch. So in the Apple Watch, let's take a look real quick at what you can and cannot customize in terms of just the notifications for just the Apple Watch. And really, this is the gold standard, if you will, in terms of notifications. So notifications right off the top, and really the big thing is that, in most cases, I mirror my phone from my device. So in my individual settings, I will just mirror whatever my phone is doing so that the Apple Watch is specific. You can tailor those later on, individual settings on the app, so that you can just, for instance, maybe your phone would give you an email notification, but you don't want it on your wrist. And so, it gets very complicated in terms of notification management. That's probably worth a whole nother video, but this is just showing you what the notification options are and how they work. This is just a general look at what the Apple provides in the phone. And then, you can go to individual settings for these. So for instance, let's look at mail. And again, I just mostly have them mirror my phone because that's really as complicated as I get. You may, individually tailor for whatever you want to do. So let's then look at what are the options in terms of the phone itself. And again, you got to go to your settings, wherever you have your settings. And in your settings for notifications, that's where things get a little more complicated and how you're going to tailor how each of these notifications really display themselves. And for that, it's the reason that's important is, you can have your bank notifications, blah, 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 whole tons of things. One important feature, though, is however you have things set up on your phone, because the options are very limited in both the Garmin and the Coros, whatever your phone does is essentially what's going to be reported on those devices. So the only way to really control that is to control what your phone notifications are. Again, the Apple lets you tailor it specific to the watch versus the phone, but generally speaking, whatever you stick with on your phone is what you're going to get on the other two. So that's just a general overview of the Apple, and I'm, again, not going to go into the Apple device too much. But let's then look at what you can customize for the Garmin EPIX. So in Garmin, again, really very handy in terms of how they manage things, but in the individual settings, It's right near the top, notifications and alerts, and those are your options. Smart notifications and system alerts. So smart notifications, just generally speaking, it's either on or off. And then for calls, you could, I could set a tone on the watch. I don't normally have a lot of the tones on the watch turned on. Why? Because they normally sound horrible. There's really no speaker. It's just the tones. But I always use the vibration alert for sure. Text, same thing. So really, there's very limited options for all these, within the Garmin environment. Now, during an activity is also really one of the best features. If I had to name one in terms of the notifications, and really Apple works the same way. If I'm recording an activity on Strava, it doesn't bombard me with a bunch of notifications unless I opt to have that turned on. But in Garmin, during an activity, I can basically silence everything. And really right now, all I have is texts, and actually I have them on all right now. But anyway, during an activity, I need to really turn these off so that during an activity, I really don't get notified or disturbed while I'm working out in terms of all these other notifications. So that's it. I can't tailor the notifications inside the Garmin environment for my watch. I really have to do everything from the phone. So that's just one limitation. Let's go to notifications on the Coros, just to show you the different options you have in all the software environments. And for the Coros, let's connect to it. And these are all the options. So this is, I'm not going to go through a Coros detailed setup in this video. I'll save that for later. But then there's a separate notifications area. And this is a little bit better compared to Garmin in the fact that it just allows me to tailor which of these apps actually notifies me. So, I've got Instagram and Twitter and some other things that will show you what they look like, in Gmail, but that's it. I can't click on these and tailor them any more than it's either on or off. So it's further defined what gets sent to the watch in Coros, but I can't really do anything in terms of any more modifying if there's a tone or anything else. So it's just basically on. So that's what the software in the phone looks like as you're comparing that to what the watch is. Now let's show you specifically what some of these notifications look like. So the biggest example I'm going to show you right off the top is what does a text message look like. Here's what a text message looks like. And then here's some email notifications so you know what those look like. Calendars. This is what a pop-up looks like for a calendar notification. Here's some Facebook Messenger. And then some Instagram. And now ESPN. So you'll see through all of these notifications that really they're quick pop-ups, and the ability to go back and look at them depends on which device you're looking at. The Apple, obviously I can swipe down from the front or from the top screen and look at all my notifications in rich detail and interact with them specifically on an Apple device. The other two don't allow that. Again, that's an Apple limitation, but you can go back and look at them specifically on the Garmin device. You can just swipe up, go to the notifications, and it's very easy to find what they all look like. The Coros is a little harder to get to, but it also does notification management, so you can look at them back later if you missed it when it popped up during a workout, for an example. So there you go. That was what notifications look like beginning to end, how you set them up, how you manage them, what they look like across the board. Hope you liked this video. Subscribe so you can see more content coming out soon. We got more coming out on the Coros VERTIX 2, probably an independent review of the Apple Watch Series 7, just what I think of it compared to the previous editions. But anyway, all that content's coming up soon, and a lot of other bag reviews, things to get you outside. Subscribe to the channel so you can see whatever is going to happen next. It's going to be exciting. Let's do it. So there you go, as promised, a quick look at the notification features of these dedicated smartwatches, the Coros VERTIX 2, the Garmin EPIX, and the Apple Watch Series 7. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time as we enjoy the great outdoors. Certainly, the recently being tested, the way